Hello, my name's Ray Marquis. I'm the Senior Application Engineer at Valen Corporation, and this video is going to step you through how to do a test run of a program that we've written in a previous video for the Omron NX safety controller. Since you're watching this video, you've probably already watched the previous videos when you have a project similar to this one with an Omron NX1P and an Omron NX SL safety controller. You can tell by pulling down the controller tab at the top and seeing if there's a safety controller and a regular controller in there. If you go to the safety PLC and then move down to the programming section and double click on the program, it'll say program 1. Mine's named, but it'll say program 1. And you'll have the program that we started with in the previous videos. In a minute, we're going to go through these steps, but here's a graphic that helps explain the states of the safety PLC and the debug mode. You can see that when you turn the power on to the safety controller or the system, when the unit starts, if the program's not validated, you're going to go to program mode in the safety controller. If the program is validated, which we'll do in a later video, you will see the safety PLC comes up in run mode and the safety system is operational. When you're in program mode, in order to actually test the program before you validate it, you can go to debug mode, but you're in debug mode and you're stopped and not operational. Once you're in debug mode, you have to take the PLC, the safety PLC, into run mode, and then you'll be running your program in debug mode. So it's a little bit confusing, but I hope this graphic helps. In one of the first videos, I showed how to make the settings to get online with the PLC and the controller, the safety controller. And so we'll have that all set up, but we're going to click on the Go Online button, that yellow triangle that you just saw click there. And then you'll see the change in the Sysmac Studio software to show that you're online with some colors changing and so on. The safety PLC operates quite a bit differently from a normal PLC in a lot of ways, and one of them is in the way that we can go online and monitor. So I'm online, and if I find the parameters, for example, this output unit, or I can click in the graphic up here and say I want to see the input unit, the LED indicators or operation indicators you can see there are blue, and no matter what I do with the inputs, they're just going to stay that way because we haven't put the PLC or the safety PLC into debug mode. So click on the controller menu option and select mode, then debug. And it'll ask you several questions to which you'll just answer yes or okay. Unless you've entered a password that for your project, then you'd have to enter in that password here. But just say okay if there's no password to be entered. And you'll see the background change. And this will now look more like what a normal PLC would look like, where you can see the status of your inputs and outputs. But I'll go back here to the input parameters and the graphic that goes with that, and you can see the LED indicators or operation indicators. And if I push that reset button a couple times, you can see it changing states. Back at the program view, you can see the status of your variables, much like you would in a standard PLC. And so if we change the state of certain ones, we'll see them change from false to true, or we can write values in. Like, for instance, this reset, I'll push the reset button, and you'll see the status change to true, but notice the output from that function block doesn't come on no matter how long I keep it pushed. And that's because even though we're in debug mode, we haven't set to run the program in the PLC. So it's a two-step: debug, then run. Once the safety PLC is in run mode, you can see some other things change. For instance, the output from the eStop function block is on because I have this bit set to true, this input set to true, to say that when the PLC program starts to run, as long as the input conditions on this function block are correct, I'm going to reset it, which turns on the output. And since the eStop is in the proper position, it reset and turned on the output. This is going to be what we're going to do in a minute. We're going to turn that on, and you can see after a second delay, the reset delay done bit comes on. So once I turn the input on, it'll turn that reset delay done. Now I'm going to turn off the eStop, and you can see that the output from that eStop function turned off or went to false over here. And then I set the eStop back on, but still that output's off because I haven't reset it. It's got to be manually reset based on this function block and having a reset condition here. So I'll go up, I'll turn on push the reset button. After a second, the reset done delay goes on, and then you can see the output from the function block resets, which turns on the output and turns on the relays that are connected. We can also do things that you would normally be able to do with a normal PLC, and that is to set or force set outputs and inputs on and off. So you can see I've forced that reset delay done variable on, and then I can go back and cancel it. This is handy for testing while you're running your project in debug mode. While you're in debug mode, the program is running, and you can force inputs or force variables on and off. You can test things, fool around with things, but when you go offline with this, the PLC, the safety PLC, is going to go back into program mode. It's not going to operate. So this is not the mode that where you're done and you've downloaded your program so that you can have it run and keep the machine safe. In order to do that, we're going to have another video to show that, where you validate the project and then set it up to run automatically. For now, we're going to go offline, so you just change debug to stop, the debug mode to stop, rather. And then you can go offline, and you could just click on this offline button, and even if the debug is running, it doesn't matter. You just go offline, and it'll tell you that you're running in debug mode. Are you sure you want to quit? And you can just say okay, and then answer okay to any questions that pop up. And now you're back where you can do development and make changes to your program. I hope you found this video helpful. In the future, we're going to have another video to show how to set the safety PLC into the proper mode for safely guarding your machine. If you have any questions, please see the number above.